Hello, everyone.
Hi, morning.
I think will be my first share screen now. So,
Okay, yeah. I see that quite a lot of people have their first today, something
yes,
first.
exactly. Do you see the
Very
screen?
good, all good, yeah.
Yeah, cool. I did it. At least the start. So, hello, everyone. I'm very happy to be here. Really excited, bit nervous. So, forget me for all my mistakes. I have probably I'm from Samara University. I'm a researcher of fashion and trends and fashion trends. So today I would like to share with you a few ideas about homeware in the quarantine time. And my first question to you, what are you wearing today? So well, I would not suggest what exactly, but this picture I tried to reconstruct one of the realities of today, new normal. Yeah, wearing some jacket and or maybe blues or something formal uh, that's observed in the camera, and some pajama, my favorite Mickey Mouse socks, somewhere that no one see. And this is my idea that today we have some transformations in fashion trends that within the time have chances to become new fashion pattern. And yes, we know that fashion trends transmit certain values, some standards, some fashion behavior, and within the time they're changing. And we experience today these conditions when certain fashion trends, particularly connected to the homeware, pajama or whatever possible, that these trends become or have chances to become institutionalized. So I have three main ideas or key trends that we have today. And the first one, I call it wear comfy. Uh, in this quarantine time, yeah, we deal with isolation, with social distancing, with all these practices that are stressful for us. And it's not only mentally stress, but this is also the stress for the body. And then I connected it with the time dimension in the way that we want to wear something comfortable, that it's just for us very relaxed, and this is as a healing therapy. For someone it's pajama, for others maybe sportswear, maybe socks, maybe something else that kind of bring us back to the past where we felt some kind of cozy in certain clothes. Another idea is about the dress code. Some of us probably still have to work, at least sometimes. And then we need to participate in all these digital conferences, discussions, video chats, meetings. Yeah, and it's not appropriate to wear pajama, probably not. So we need to dress up. And in the new conditions, we dress up the upper body, but still can stay in these pajama pants because no one sees it. And the third idea that is now the question, what's going to happen with this homeware trend? Is it a time for changes? And I see here two directions. One, that these comfortable clothes would change and transform the formal official dress code at work. And we would bring these comfortable clothes, well, outside, let's say, or maybe we would go for the in contrary direction, that dressing up fancy and fashionable and forgetting about this pajama style. So I have three predictions, let's say. As far as I'm doing research in trends and trend forecasts, I have three predictions. One is orientation on myself. So before the quarantine time, as we know, fashion used to express social status, financial abilities, some kind of identities. Fashion tried to imitate style of celebrities. So it was orientation, let's say, to someone, to others. And now it's orientation on myself. What makes me feel comfortable, good, relaxed, cozy, that works and that matters. And I think this is a perspective that would work in the near future. Another thing is a digital culture and digitalization that embraces many practices of everyday life, and then it goes deeper. And with the fashion phenomena, it would bring new patterns that will be institutionalized within this digital culture. And the third idea that online fashion and offline fashion will be differentiated, that would be implemented in certain codes, values, digital codes and digital values, let's say. And that would be different, probably dress code for online communication and activities. And when we would just go for real life, go out and would wear something maybe in a different mode. So I believe that the main idea would be new normal is my normal. So what's for me interesting, what's for me comfortable, what's for me relevant, that matters. And I hope that would lower the negative environmental impact of the fashion industries manufacturing to the nature, and that would change the value system of consumers in the way that, well, we change the perspective. So now I'm at the very, very beginning of the research, and I believe it would be connected with consumer preferences and motivations. So I like to analyze the visual content, and probably from the fashion influencers, because they are oriented, let's say, for the future trends, to see what do they perform, or what will they be perform after this quarantine time. And on the other side, I would like to know how these new trends influence and change the value system of consumers, how they create new codes and norms and cultural attitudes that also change our behavior in fashion, or fashion behavior. So I think that will be my perspective of research. And well, I'm waiting for your comments and questions. Actually, I think I'm fast and quick.
Yeah,
So,
good.
yeah,
Good.
I even, I think, don't need your 3 minutes reminder.
I was just going to,
Yes,
yes, to
I see,
hold it.
I see.
Yeah, but it means that, yes, we have so much time, much more time for questions and comments. And I will allow myself to ask first question. Mary, did you try to look at, let's say, at some regulations or some advice which companies started to send to their employees when this Zoom or online period started? Did they in any way refer to dress codes, refer to the clothes they wore while online?
I think my motivation for this research came out from the idea that, well, I'm a researcher and basically I stay at home anyway. Doesn't matter is it allowed or not to go out. So I work, well, in clothes that I'm kind of feeling good and comfortable. But I started to think, okay, what happened with other people? Because I'm not alone. And yeah, what I heard, I'm just like, yeah, the early stage research, what I heard, what I saw, that people still follow this idea that if you have a work meeting, then you have to be dressed up somehow. And I'm also interested whether will be these changes at the, let's say, official level at the companies. Probably this is another direction for the research, to see this official, well, documentation, maybe not, but at least kind of restrictions, requirements that change also the relation between work, dress code, and the fashion phenomenon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have this comment from Lainey Burton. My son's school set forth dress codes for Zoom to ensure professional attitudes to learning in high school were maintained. So it could be not only about, you know, work and offices, but also studies. And I do know that some schools, they actually send off such, you know, codes for students.
Well, I think there is also a difference between, well, for example, school dress code that is just formality of, well, for the students to stay in the formal clothes, and there on the other side, this working rules that have different, probably different attitude, different connection to fashion.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Well, another comment from Sophie Wood. I have heard this too. A school in England required school uniform for Zoom classes. So, so we have information from all over the world, literally. Okay. Any questions or comments? Lenore. Yes, please.
I have probably a strange one. If I understand correctly, after any periods of crisis, usually people, for example, we take war, we take epidemics, we take economic crisis, the reaction of people fashion-wise was extensive shopping, extensive show-off, extensive conspicuous consumption. Do you believe that this time it will be so much different? And what changed? What has changed in us? How did society change so much?
Thank you for your question. I think, as I mentioned, I see here two possibilities that we will consume and we will not consume. But I think this time, this crisis also connected with health, with environment. There were a lot of discussions. So probably, and I would like to believe in this idea that we would consume less, or at least it would bring us to this conscious consumption, that it's not only to show off, but well, consume as well. We all need sometimes some fashion items, but it would bring us to this idea of consciousness, of responsibility, and probably to the idea that we will can get which consequences we would have if we would continue the pattern or the model before the crisis, let's say.
I understand. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. We have questions from Irina Sirotkina. Irina.
Hi everybody. I have a question not related to your paper but related to you, Maria, because I think one of the purposes today is to meet everybody, and we haven't met yet. We're colleagues, but we haven't met. And I've never, moreover, I've never been in Samara. I know it's a city on the Volga, which is not far from Moscow, but somehow I didn't come across it yet. So my question is, where fashion studies are located at the Samara University?
Well, I have to say that I spent 10 years in Germany and moved half a year ago back to Samara. So all my fashion studies happened there. And here at the Samara University, I do teach the course for trend researching. It's not connected directly to fashion studies, but I include the fashion ideas and ideas about the environment, sustainability, how they are connected. So I would suggest that the fashion studies located somehow close to my course at the university.
Okay, thank you. Maria, we have a couple of comments. One is from Ksenia Gusarova, and yes, I agree with Ksenia. There is also this idea that dressing up for working from home can help one concentrate. Sorry, just move a little. To concentrate and delineate one's workspace time within the home. Yeah, I support completely, because I also did a few interviews with people who had to work from home during the quarantine, and they actually said that sometimes they do put on a jacket, they do put on a pair of high-heeled shoes in order to, to specify this is where work starts, So yeah, could be also helpful. Right, and from Elsa Skjold, the debates here in Denmark is that consumers are divided. They see the COVID as connected with the climate crisis. So far, it seems that at least among some, the pandemic will mean more conscious consumer patterns.
I hope so.
And one more question, do you think that the digitalization of fashion and the process of combination of fashion with graphic design, digital models, drawn magazine covers and so on would be sped up by the quarantine?
Yes, I think that my third prediction was like this online fashion development is also supported, for example, by digital fashion, virtual fashion that already exists and kind of getting attention slowly. So for, let's say, Zoom reality or any kind of digital conversation that would work and would develop soon,
Yeah.
let's say.
Okay, Maria, and have a look. Yes, one more comment from
Yeah.
Elsa. Yes, about actually warning retailers having crazy sales and reductions of prices. Yes, I heard that in some countries they are not going to go, on sale once the quarantine is over. And from Sophie Wood, there is a link to some statistics from Fashion Revolution on their Instagram on consumption and lockdown. So yes, please
Yes, thank you very much.
have a look at our chat.
Yes.
Thank you so much, colleagues.